Well, in this video I've got some more double trouble here. It is a pair of these Philips Trekka 15s, that's what they are. Actually a Sharp television. Both of these have got this bit loose. And I thought they had a... I'm pretty sure there's another piece missing here too. There should be a little lens thing that goes in there, I think. So I don't know if I've lost that, or they didn't come with them. But I may have one lying around somewhere. I can't remember, they've been here so long. And that one's got the little screen shield thing, little anti-glare piece. And one, I think only one's got the power supply on it. So they're often missing the original one. Just plugs in a 12 volt DC socket on the back, so some people didn't even need it. If you're just going to run it off 12 volts, so you can plug 12 volts into there. Yeah, that one's rather dirty and horrible. This one's in fairly decent condition. Yeah, more I think about it, I think I've got one of those LED things somewhere. Oh, I just found one of these things that had just fallen out. That should go in there somewhere. Except it refuses to, of course. There we go. So it should look like that with the red, yeah, like little fake red LEDs, or rectangular LEDs, I guess. There are real LEDs behind it. And we've got a model number under here. It's a KA212, that's right. 1.25 amps at 12 volts. Yeah, manufactured in accordance with specs of Philips Consumer Products Division Australia, made in Japan. Like I say, these are a Sharp. Only seen a couple of these. You didn't see them very often. Then, being a Sharp, they're pretty reliable, so unless someone damaged them, they generally kept going. Some of their bigger sets weren't always so reliable, but these little ones, like the KA212, 920 Philips, generally went forever. Pretty rare to see them, but I don't think they ever sold a lot of these ones. These were pretty expensive in the day, being an earlier 5-inch odd TV. I've got no idea if either of these do anything, but I guess we'll plug them in and see. And so far it doesn't sound too good. Let's see how we plugged right in. And we've got no power by the look of it. Is one of these meant to be a power light? I know they're blocked off those, they aren't anything. What mode are we in? And these don't have a radio or anything. Oh, I've got some controls on the side. Just channel search. Actually, I can hear the speaker or something. No, it's just... Yes, I can. The transformer's humming, but there is a speaker in there somewhere. So where's the AV input on this thing? Ah. Alright. Oh, well, that might be part of the problem. Always check the obvious when you can hear that speaker going. I'm not sure we're going to have the picture here though. Colour, contrast at max. Did I see brightness on the back? So yeah, no sign of anything coming up on the screen. Let's just... No, even when we turn it off, we're not getting a collapsing image of any sort. So that's that one. Oh, man. What the... Does that just pull out? Yeah, it does eventually. Let's plug it into the other one and see how that one does. It's not very happy. Oh, it's got a big round knob thing on the end of it. Is that to stop it coming out accidentally or something? Bit of a weird design. I haven't seen that before. Probably designed to be difficult. Oh, I saw this picture collapse. Oh, this one's more like it. We've got something going on. I've got a channel. Oh, the other one I don't think had the channel light. I was going to say something should be lit up. Oh, where's that bloody vertical hold? That's better, although it's a bit Bit low there in height. Bit purple. But that's largely going, I think. What have we got? We've got a proper 75 ohm socket, which is nice. Those little 3.5 things are prone to poor connections and stuff because they're just too flimsy, really, having a big cable hanging off. Now, I think we saw something to do with tuning there somewhere. Hopefully this is just the usual Phillips. Oh, we've got it. But we've still got a vertical issue. I was trying to get that so the picture... is that going to lock in? Yeah, so maybe we've got a vertical... Yeah, lovely. Vertical hold issue. Yeah, weird. Yeah, pretty rare you get a sinker issue like that, but something's not right there, I don't think. Yeah, there's something out in that vertical circuit. Assuming that we're tuned in correctly, which I reckon we would be. But yeah, interesting, the other one didn't have any light up part. That's something, so it's not completely dead. Turn that off for a second. It's really picky about going in. Yeah, no sign of the channel lights. Plenty of volume though. Let's try and plug in the pattern generator and see if it makes any sound of anything on the audio. Nah. No channel selection. You'd think that would go out with this switch. So I guess we've got some sort of power issue with it. I think we've got to remove those knobs and the whole top comes off. Pretty sure they're very tight, so you just got to prise them carefully with a screwdriver. I should really put something under that screwdriver so it doesn't mark the cabinet, but I can usually get away with it. And it's only my junk, so it doesn't matter too much. Now, how do we get this apart? I see, it looks like you press the tab there, should it? Doesn't really press. Yeah, this thing hasn't even been put on properly, is part of the problem. What has someone done here? Should it go up or down? Where's the other one? Slots upwards by the look of it. I'm going to have to force that with a screwdriver or something, I think. Why is that sitting up? It's not going... someone's completely stuffed this. So there we go. Yeah, it didn't want to go down in that hole for some reason. That's weird, but anyway. Here's our screws. I don't know if I actually have to take those ones off, but I might take them out anyway. It might just be the other two do the back. Starting to lift. Now, do we need to undo any of this other stuff? Oh, it was starting to lift. Oh, I see the bottoms. It's lifting compared to the bottom. It's got to be something. I was going to say it's going to be something hiding here somewhere. They can't help themselves. The front is kind of coming with it, I'm not sure that it should. Hey, there's the other one in plain sight there. Sure, this top pivot's up. Yeah, I thought these ones just lifted upwards and that was that, but maybe if I undo the antenna socket and have a look in there, if it moves, which it should. God, how long are these bloody screws? Doesn't really give much insight. Definitely don't need to do those. And now, oh, maybe we did have to undo the antenna socket or something. Now we're sort of getting somewhere. Yeah, this is how I remember them coming apart. But, like I say, I only probably worked on one or two of them in my life. Usually there's some horrible clips there somewhere that don't want to come undone. Of course, you always got to be careful because you've got a fragile tube in there. And lots of wire, I can see a wire basically trying to yank on the neck board. What happens if I just try to take this bit off? I think that's... this one's better. Ah, there we go. There's the clip in the middle. That's what I was looking for. Get rid of these AVs, but these push the... This is what I thought it went like. Well, when it works, that's how it goes. You've got to push it outwards, I think. So the speaker connector pushes out the little tab on it, not in like they usually do. What do we got? Doesn't really say who made the tube. It might be made by Hitachi, Japan. 150 AYB22. Yeah, that's what I thought they came apart like, so I shouldn't have took those other two screws out. Definitely looks like a sharp board in this thing. Yeah, brown glue, that's not good. Didn't know they had that in them. Yeah, more of it there. Never good to see. So there's a PW BF 2405CE, so definitely a sharp part number. What is it, F1368 or something, CE line output transformer, another sharp type number. We've probably got some IX chips or something in here. Oh, it's even said sharp on the microprocessor down there. We've got an X0062, that's a sharp chip, even though it's just a rebadged. Whatever, another sharp chip there, big one. It says actually sharp on it. So what I might do, let's put those screws back in that bottom bit and forget about pulling that apart. Don't think it really mattered, but I just can't get that top clip out is the problem. Because this one's probably never been apart before. But definitely going to get the AV sockets loose. Those pots can start pushing back. Yeah, there. I remember them being a bit of a pain. Press on that bit, that's your key. And I'm still stuck on this, just the pots again. So I'll flick that outwards. And the connector comes out, so that's getting a bit easier. Oh, I've got a date on the top of this thing. So if you can work out which way to read it. 11th month. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's a 2. There's a 1. There's a 3. And there's a 2 out of 3 there. That's 10. Not sure how you read that code, but I wonder if it's a 82 or something. Oh, what's this? Plus and minus or something, God knows. Oh well, so a bit of messing around, but we got there in the end. Glue's not so bad on this one, hasn't corroded as far, but that probably wants removing. Now at least we can access that board. Have we got it? Yeah, I think the power supply's in there. There's a big filter cap there. There's a fuse. Yeah, line output transformer, a little bit dry on one of those joints. Might have a look at for dry joints, firstly because these were portable. Something like on that transistor is the sort of thing, because these are a portable unit, and things like these voltage, well, that's probably the horizontal output. Oh yeah, that voltage regulator there is pretty dry. If it is a voltage regulator, I wouldn't be surprised if that's our problem. KA212 there's got a dry joint on the emitter, I think it is. Yeah, a couple of pins, pin 7 and 10 on the lopped line output transformer there are not the best. Probably not enough to stop it running, but you never know. Line driver 628 there's got a bit of one, that's the vertical I think. Make sure this brown glue hasn't eaten any tracks off. Should always check around that brown glue, make sure it hasn't actually corroded anything badly, especially when it's over a track. I don't think this has gone at all corrosive yet. In this one it's actually pretty good. But I'll get rid of that after, I think. Now what did I say? 628 up there. Definitely a bit dodgy. I'll just do that transistor. Now, was it these two pins? One is just ground while we do it. Wrong pin, that one. And this transistor here, God, they left long leads on it, but that looks like a definite sort of thing that would cause the sort of symptoms we got. Doesn't mean it'll fix anything, but that's exactly the sort of thing you're looking for. That's not the best, but I don't know what that is, just a pin. Yeah, it's just loose in there. Through the fuse, goes straight to that transistor. Yeah, B plus adjust, that's exactly what you're looking for. Now we did have audio, so if the amp's running, it should run off the same power supply, I would think. Unless it runs directly off the 12 volts or something, and that's a different regulator. But anyway, it looks like the most of the stuff we want to access is on that sideboard, which it makes life easier. All the small signals on the flat board, which hopefully we don't need to access, but I shouldn't have said that, I guess, because now we will. Still got no lights, I don't think. So that'll be our ground. What do we got? Anything on our horizontal output? No. Where's that transistor of the dry joints? That doesn't look too promising. 17. And it's still putting out 11 volts. How's it only 3 volts on the base though? So that fuse comes after that. Oh yeah, that is on the emitter of the transistor, so that could have been blown. Not sure if that's the correct voltage. 5 volts there. 12 volt, but that fuse only seems to go to that capacitor. That can't be right. Oh no, here it is. Oh, 2.9 volts there. It's kind of got junction measurements everywhere. If that's a PMP, that can be lower voltage. Oh, that's the advantage of having two of them. Yeah, that one sounds like the degausser goes in it too, which I'm not hearing on the other one. It's got 15, 10, yeah, 11. There should be 0.7 volts between there and there, but it still is only about 11 volts coming out. 15 going in, but of course that's down because it's got a lot of current. See, collector of that goes where? Where does the voltage to the collector come from? Here. So that's probably one of these other pins. $10. That's probably the input. So there's nothing here, but is that an output or an input? Oh, there's our 11 volts. What? It's meant to be a wire link, I think. Unless it's a fusible resistor or something, so I've got no voltage there. The plot thickens every day. What is that 7 thing? Oh my god, it's completely corroded link. There's a green link. That's like, I think there's a bit of brown glue there. That's so the brown glue did strike. I'll be damned. It struck on that link number 7 there above the lopped. So is this thing right? I still can't understand why the voltage is, so it can't be that far out. Unless, dunno. It's a B580 something. So definitely PMP. Well, the junctions measure good. So I think for the moment we'll just bypass that link with another bit of wire. Let's see if I get horizontal running. Oh yeah, just the end of it just moved when I touched it. It's broken. Just make sure it hasn't swung around and shorted on anything. It's not, it's just a tiny bit, so not even any length attached to it by the look of it. Oh, I hear something. I hear, it sounds like the degaussing went, or the, maybe it's the shadow mask, but there you have it. It's a nice easy one. Where's that brightness? Try not to electrocute myself in the process. Oh, there it is. So it's down a bit. That's a bit better. Full contrast. Is that colour? Oh yeah, it's that colour. Well, at least we've got one hopefully working. So it's the dreaded brown glue struck again. That screen needs a really good clean. So now, at least we've got a working one we maybe can compare to that other one, which has dodgy vertical hold in it. But I'm going to start with the vertical hold control, I think. Do we have brown glue issues around there? That goes to that track. Ooh, close but not that close. Back right up around here somewhere. Possibly to that IC. Let's just see what our pot should measure. So it's probably a 10K-ish thing. More like a 15K at one end. Back around to 8K, so hopefully that's locked in again roughly. I don't know what the link looks like in this one. Oh, it's as green as too. So that's about to fail, I'm guessing. What is loose in here? Some bits of rubbish. Okay, so a lot more of it by the sound of it. What the hell is that? Must be under the main circuit board. Still a lot of something in there. But anyway, we don't give a... Oh, what have we got here? Corroded switch? No, it's just a green number 4 on there. I wonder if we do have anything else. I'm going to check that track under there, even though I don't think it's related. I mean, the glue probably doesn't matter if it's just corroding the aluminium. Certainly starting to damage this track a bit, I think. But not enough that it's eaten through anything, I don't think. Okay. $3K, where that is, it should go down to 0 somewhere. And up to about 15. So the pot is probably fine. Worth a check when you've got a vertical hold issue. It's a rather dry, jointy looking. Let's resolder it just to make sure it's not something silly like that, but I don't think so. I don't think those joints have gone, but they're certainly on their way. Might go with that same transistor too, because it's on a heatsink, so typical thing to get dodgy joints on it. One of them's already been redone, or it's quite good. Subcontrast, delay line, B plus adjust. Not a great joint there. That was not good. Very dodgy joints here. think just by putting a Phillips badge on it, it's giving it dry joints. Because Phillips are well known for it. I think someone's been in and gone over a bit of this. Because normally sharp soldering's pretty good. Now, we've got any other weird symptoms in it? Don't know if that's relevant that it's got no colour at the moment. Oh, suddenly it came back. Oh, now it's gone again. Now it's back again. Oh yeah, we've got a intermittent colour. When I tap on that, oh, lift it up there and it's gone. God knows what that is. Not sure the colour decoder's even on this. Yeah, there is a delay line there. Maybe it's that big chip there. Better be careful what I touch. Is that related to our hold issue? Is it just a jitter issue rather than a hold per se? So that's probably normal vertical hold. I wonder if it is some sort of vertical jittery. That's probably what's causing our colour loss. Yeah, it's the, I think that's our AV switch. Unless it's just slow to kick back in. It could just be a slow kick in. I wonder if we've got an actual adjustment that's out. Don't think it's going to be any different going through AV, but we can try. Worth a check though, you never know. If there's an issue with the tuning or something, pretty unlikely, but possible. Now this IC, I'm wondering if it's got dry joints on it. It's not looking the best. That's pretty good. No, it's not. At first view it looks quite good, this IC, but it's definitely dodgy down one side. When you get to about that pin. That's our vertical size. So I think we've got vertical and sync around this chip. Probably colour around there. But just want to eliminate any of this horizontal hold. No doubt feeds back into this somewhere. But we could have dud caps or anything around here. It's going to be the next thing I check, I think. Just so we eliminate any obvious stuff before wasting time fault finding. Well, not dry joints, but it's worth going over those to make sure we haven't missed anything. Well, we've got a corroded joint there as well, next to this big filter cap. So that link number 37, I think. Oh god, that's a little capacitor. It's always worth doing a visual check. So around that big capacitor here, C706, not the best. That goes into the sub-contrast, I think. Guess we should just check, make sure it's still intact. It probably is if that other one's holding in. Yeah, that's still good. Now I'm going to check a few electrodes. They all look pretty good, but that doesn't mean much when things are getting this old. But yeah, that capacitor wants removing and all the glue taken out from around it. Let's just check the other set as well. Yeah, pretty much identical. So they're going to have to come out. What the hell is that? A bit of glue. Just random glue falling around. What is that? 11 kilohertz adjust. RFAGC down there. Just make sure there's no brown glue, haven't eaten through anything. So I'm guessing those two transistors are probably the vertical output. Let's have a look. There's our yoke. Let's have a look here. We've got our V size. There's the yoke connector up here. There's a, yeah, it looks like it gets back to them. There's a cap there. I might even check those first. Should really check their discharge, but oh well. What have we got? Something like that. 2, 4. That's probably a little high, maybe. But they're only little ones. But they're not open circuit. Got one there by the look of it. That is not good. If that's an electrolytic, possibly those two are no good. Oh, what's that? Oh, that's better. 5.6, 0.3, 0.2 is all good. Okay, so I've just removed C513, which measures open circuit 47 at 10 volt. And that comes back from the yoke connection. It's hard up against about a 3 watt resistor. And which side? Positive down. Not easy to get at. Can I get this board out a bit? If we bend a couple of other caps out of the way. I'm going to put a 63 volt in, it's a bit bigger, it should hopefully last a bit better. And if I angle it up a bit, then we can keep it off that resistor. And of course it moved. There's our resistor, R523. Well, let's just Switch that on and see if we get our vertical back. Well, we've got a weird picture, but I think we fixed our hold. Oh, what's this stupid? Lost colour again. But yeah, that was the one that was our hold. Ah, colour's back. But our holder stopped jittering, although something's still jittering a little bit in there. Is that just, it's probably because I've got this antenna, this antenna I think. Now, it's even possible that that other stuff has something to do with our colour. Those other caps that are out, but that was what was it? 513. That was our vertical hold issue. Everywhere I look I see joints I don't like. Really wants the whole TV resoldering, I think. Really not happy with that one. That's corroded. I wonder if there's a bloody... I wonder if there's brown glue on that. Oh yeah, that's near that capacitor. I think this diode here is probably a bit corroded as well. I've got it resoldered though, so there's probably a bit of corrosion coming down the pin. Dropped out already, which is, that's a 4.7. Let's double check it out of circuit. Yep, definitely open. So that's C610 is a 4.7. And the other one is another 4.7. 610 and 622, they're both the same value. Still no colour. Of course, where's that switch? Yeah, so the colour's still out. We've still got a purple screen. I think I've killed the colour permanently now. Then it's a bit like that sometimes. Yeah, very weird. It seems like it locks in when it wants to. Something might be slightly out. Now what we do have to do is go to grayscale, because we've got a slightly purple screen there. A bit of green drive there. Green bias. Yeah, that's gone back to purple. That's way too green. Somewhere around there is pretty good. Something squealing a little bit there. Put our colour back. Getting a lot of something with these cables are dodgy, I think. And moving this stuff around everywhere. But I think that one's a goer again. One thing I'll quickly do is how I fix the other one. We're going to bypass that wire link there. Really, you should probably remove the line output transformer as well and clean the glue off that. Yeah, I don't think I ever had trouble with brown glue on one of these, but wasn't aware it was a thing in them, but I guess they're getting old enough now that any of that sort of thing is going to start causing a problem. And that capacitor there shouldn't have much voltage in it, but let's check if it's even charged up. Always a good habit. Yeah, almost need to remove this picture tube at this point, I think, and if this board lift up, it does a bit. Yeah, the tube's actually in the way. Get the neck board off it. Unscrew these front screws underneath. Yeah, we should be able to move this forward a bit, because that coloured delay line down there is getting in the way. Really, I should remove the yoke. What have we got? More wires. Someone's put a bunch of cables in, but in amongst the connections to the yoke. I thought that's a good place to put them, but somewhere in their wisdom ran them through there. Yeah, you've got the degaussing coil and a bunch of small wires all tangled up in the yoke terminals. So much for cable dress. Now the neck board, that might be enough. I should have really put more solder on there. I think new solder to try and get the old stuff fully gone. So that's our cap. Really not much brown glue attached to it still. There's a big arc of it there. Probably have to shake it all out of the TV. Luckily it breaks off because it's gone brittle. Oh yeah, that diode I was talking about, that is definitely dodgy. I've resoldered it, so if I get the glue off it, it might survive. And there's some of this link. Now, does that link need replacing? Feels solid enough. That diode ideally probably would be replaced as well. It hasn't gone up inside it yet. I'll just clean it off with a cotton bud. Don't know what that diode's going to do if it fails. Symptom wise, but yeah, most of that green's come off there. Yeah, I need to be careful with the tube here and just turn it upside down and shake it all out. But that's got the bulk of it. Diode definitely has gone rusty on its lead, I think. Make sure you put the cap the right way around when you put it back in. Not sure we can really get to where that link on the line output is very difficult to get to. It's just a bit of glue along that edge there. I might even try and poke some of that loose. Yeah, I think that got it. Well, luckily some of it shut out God knows where. But out of the TV is the main thing. Now, I'll put the front back on, I think, and hook the tube back up. Now we'll give it a good shake. Try and remove any brown glue. I'll put our little cable tie back in. Yeah, I'm not really happy with the way they've done that, but they're probably all high voltage things. Now, well, let's just stop rattling now completely. But that's got it all going. Looks like our grayscale's still good. Got the glue out around that thing. Fix that link before it dies. This one's pretty beaten up though, unfortunately, but at least it runs well. Have to take these screens off and clean them. I think they just pull off. Something's going on. Whoop. Can't even be thrown away, these things. That one's pretty scratched up. Might try polishing it up a bit. So it looks quite a bit better without that on there. Even though they're not the highest res tubes, there's quite a bit of dirt on that actually. So I'll give the other one a bit of a clean up. Get rid of that brown glue and go over any other solder joints that don't look the best. Well, I've given them both a clean up. Come up a lot better than I expected actually. So we knew this one was pretty good. Could do with a coat of paint on this black shield thing, sun visor thing. The other one's still got a few scratches. This one's really only got a bit of a scratch down one side. Yeah, they've got a full 6.5mm headphone socket there. Didn't even notice that before. But they're both now running. I've got the stereo sound. I'm not sure if that's just the volume pod or something else, but it does sound a little bit scratchy, this one. So I might have to check that out a bit more, but they're basically running again, cleaned up. Got them both running off a video amp, which is a good chance to test that as well. Oops, I just disconnected the power to it. So I'll pick that up somewhere. Actually made in Israel of all places. Kramer. But yeah, nice little distribution amp. Got the audio as well. Runs off 12 volts, which I just had to run off the same power as the TVs. Until I just yanked it off. Now we're back in business. But they do distort when you get up to full volume. Not the best amplifier in them. And they've actually both got good antennas on them. A little bit of corrosion. Probably should put the good antenna on this one. That one's, ironically, the dirty TV had a better antenna on it. I think the antenna socket's more corroded on this other one as well. But I've removed all that brown glue except for a tiny bit around the aluminium heatsink. But any bit part of it that was over the circuit board tracks, removed both those big capacitors, cleaned all the stuff off those. I think when I scraped, was this the one I fixed first? I think it had an open circuit link. When I actually scraped the glue off the line output and that, the whole link and everything fell out. It was just completely disintegrated, basically the whole copper part of it just crumpled up into dust. Yeah, they're a couple of rather cool little TVs. These were quite good in the day because these came out a lot earlier than the other ones. There was a sort of later 80s, early 90s, there was a lot of cheaper sets came out. But these were, yeah, rather expensive early ones. So, quite a luxury item in their day, believe it or not these days. And I mean, look how big they are. And I think this is the reason why you don't see boom boxes with colour TVs in them, is because the tube, you know, basically goes right back there. So you'd have to have a very wide boom box, whereas a black and white tube only comes back to here or something. So it's like a slightly thicker than usual boom box, or some of them are that sort of depth anyway. But that's why, if you're wondering why you never see boom boxes with these nice colour tubes in them, that's the big issue. You really need to get one of these. I guess we can do a comparison. This is what you could fit into a boom box. That one I fixed a week or so ago, or maybe a couple of weeks now. So basically about the same screen size, I think. It's slightly smaller, probably an inch or so smaller, but certainly a lot thinner. So yeah, this would be a cool one to maybe, never thought of that before actually, if I upgraded something like that silver boombox I got, but I think that's got an even smaller screen in it. I guess that would be the thing to do these days, is actually convert one of them over to colour while trying to keep the look of the old CRT surround and everything. But even if it cuts off a bit of this LCD, that probably would be a good use for it. But yeah, a lot of difference in depth, so this is probably a lot thicker than it needs to be. The actual panel's only about that thick, I think. This is mainly because it's got this big battery holder on the back. But yeah, glad I got those going. They've been sitting around for quite a while now, and it's one of those things I actually wanted to get round to fixing. But now I've cleaned up a bit of stuff, I think we'll maybe have a CRT month and see if I can get through some of these portable CRTs. Some of them run, some have never been tested, and some have at least small things wrong with them. So it's probably about time I went through and sorted out what I can with them, and we'll get some going. But these are quite cool little sets. I like these little ones. I think some of them I've actually got a 3-in-1, like a GAC or something, GAC, one of these cheapo things. But it's one of the flat units with a CRT on the front and the radio and cassette player on top. So that'll be another interesting one to have a bit of a look at. Quite a rare model, I think. And they didn't make many of those 3-in-1s. I've actually got a tube here out of one that I pulled apart to look at the Tennyson mech. So that is actually a black and white tube we can compare. To be fair, it's not that much shorter really. That's about the same screen size. Not even sure what it is. Who made this one? I don't see. Oh, there we are. A Clinton. Made in Taiwan. But that's out of one of those 3-in-1s. 5V AEP4. But yeah, that's what they were like. So yeah, I was thinking they're a bit more shallow. Some of them, like that one in that silver boombox I did, I think the reason there is even a smaller tube, like a 4 or 3 inch or whatever it is because again it's even more shallow. They probably could make them at a different angle, not as good quality picture, but flatter tube, shallower tube. But that is something to think about. Now I think about it, it'd be nice to put an LCD or something in that unit. But I would like to get a little shelf set up with my collection of these things. Be nice to see them all running together. And also the bigger TVs I got. But I think they'll be fine now, so just really a bit of brown glue got to them. Heat in this one. This one looks like it's had a lot of use. Who knows, I got these off eBay, so God knows what part of the country it even came from. Probably somewhere hotter than where I am. Or could have been used in a particularly hot environment, and that'll be enough to fry those caps. But I mean, given its age, so done pretty well. But yeah, being made by Sharp, they were fairly decent quality. And because these are only low voltage and stuff in the horizontal and that, they tend to last. The line output transformers, all those sort of things aren't really working that hard. But because they get bumped around, you tend to get dry joints and stuff in these little things, or other damage. That's why I sort of check the vertical pot first, because it sticks out the back, and anything that sticks out the back on a portable thing may have been bashed into something at some point. As you can see how knocked around this thing was. But yeah, even those marks on the handle, a lot of it came off in the end. I think there might be something still on the other side. I don't think I even tried to clean that off. That is actually some tape glue. I should have got onto that, but that's the side you don't normally see. Yeah, I'm happy with the way they came up. I think I bought this one first, is why I ended up with a rough one. Otherwise I would have just bought this one probably. And then of course, you know, it's always the way you buy a rough one. It's the first one you've seen in ages on eBay, and then up comes another good one, probably for half the price. But that's life. But yeah, they'll make a couple of nice little display TVs. Needs a good polish on the plastic. That one's not too bad. That I polished off some of the worst of the scratches, but it's pretty rough. So it doesn't look the best because you can see all the damage to the front. These things just basically pop off. Clip at each end. So you can just chuck them away basically, but these ones are not so good because they've got these big holes and quite a big channel around them. But the other option is just to throw these things in the bin. But like a turntable cover, I think if you want to put a bit of time into it, you can polish the worst of that off. But I think I might have to get some sort of cotton polishing disc or something to finish them, because the metal polish tends to leave some fine scratches on them. You really need something even finer than that. But that's a job I might get around to one day, who knows. And this one I'm pretty sure was missing the LED bit. This other one, I think I actually had it sitting on the floor for ages and I kicked it. As I went past, just gently kicked it and all the front fell off. I think it took off the shading thing there and this front bit of plastic. But luckily I found that other bit was actually, must have been with it on the shelf, and I pulled it off and set it on the bench. And then by the time I actually got around to doing the video, I'd forgotten that was there, or I didn't even notice it. But thankfully I got one of them. So that's something to look out on these, is to make sure that it's actually got the red LEDs, because these were fairly common for falling off. I think they got the old double-sided tape that's fallen off, so Sharp failed a little bit there, but given their age, it's not the end of the world. And putting these back together, about the only thing, you've got to make sure that board, if you've had it out, the horizontal board and everything there, is sitting back in its little slots. And then you sort of angle the, let's get rid of all the power and stuff, angle the case back in, making sure the speaker wire and stuff's out of the way. And you may actually have to lift the board up a little bit to get these in the right spot as you come in. Lift these pots a bit higher, and once you get them in there, you're pretty right after that. But yeah, it was a bit of a fiddle to get this first one apart. But once you know how to do them, they'd be nice and easy. But yeah, they were never a common thing to see secondhand or repair for anyone. Quite a rare TV, I think, because of their cost and being fairly early. And just very reliable. Like, at least people got their money's worth out of these ones, because they didn't break down like the later ones. But anyway, I'm glad I got those going, so thanks for watching.